Entire cities were left behind. Ferris wheels that never spun, mansions half buried in sand, and streets once built for thousands, now echoing only with the wind. Across the world, there are places where time simply stopped, where ambition met disaster, and where humanity built something incredible and then walked away. Today on MapMind, we are traveling to 11 ghost cities, from a fake Paris in China to a toxic red lake in Romania, and to a seaside resort frozen by war in Cyprus. Each one reveals something about what happens when progress fades and nature quietly moves back in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss amazing videos like this. Let's begin. 1. Tianducheng, China. The empty Paris. What if you built a perfect replica of Paris and no one came? In 2007, developers in China began constructing Tianducheng, a grand experiment in urban luxury. There was an Eiffel Tower, tree-lined boulevards, and elegant Parisian fountains. And yet, when the real estate boom slowed and prices soared, the buyers never arrived. The result was a ghost city, an architectural mirage where classical music played through empty courtyards. For years, Tianducheng became the internet's favorite urban myth, a fake Paris without Parisians. And although new families have begun to move in recently, it still feels uncanny, like a movie set waiting for its actors to return. But not every ghost city was built from luxury dreams. Some were drowned by nightmares of pollution and greed. Next on our list, we have Geamana, Romania, the drowned village. Deep in the Apuseni Mountains of Romania lies Geamana, a small village swallowed by poison. In 1978, the communist government discovered copper in the hills above. Their solution was ruthless. They flooded the valley with mining waste. Over 400 families were forced to leave, and their homes, churches, and fields disappeared beneath millions of tons of toxic sludge. Today, a single church tower pokes through the red metallic water, the only survivor of a drowned world. It's a haunting reminder that sometimes a city doesn't die by neglect. It's buried alive by ambition. And while some cities were erased by pollution, others vanished in an instant, victims of politics, war, and frozen borders. Third on our list comes Varosha, Cyprus, the resort that time forgot. In the early 1970s, Varosha was the crown jewel of Cyprus, a Mediterranean resort for the rich and famous. Hollywood stars like Elizabeth Taylor and Brigitte Bardot once strolled its beaches, and its skyline shimmered with luxury hotels and nightlife. But in 1974, the Turkish invasion of Cyprus forced the entire city to evacuate overnight. The army sealed the borders, and no one ever returned. For nearly 5 decades, the hotels and restaurants have stood untouched, slowly collapsing in the salt air. Varosha became a postcard that never faded, only crumbled with time. And long before Varosha's fall, another island on the far side of Asia was already collapsing. Not from war, but from the death of industry. Fourth, Hashima Island, Japan. Battleship Island. Off the coast of Nagasaki lies Hashima Island, once home to Japan's most productive coal mine. By the 1950s, more than 5,000 people lived here, packed into less than 16 acres, making it the most densely populated place on Earth. But when oil replaced coal, the mining stopped and the island emptied almost overnight. The sea air corroded the buildings, and Hashima became a fortress of decay. Today it stands as both an industrial triumph and a silent graveyard, a ghost ship anchored forever in time. But not every ghost city came from collapse. Some simply ran out of what they were built to chase: fortune itself. Next on our list, Kolmanskop, Namibia, the desert diamond city. In 1908, a railway worker in southern Namibia found a diamond glinting in the sand. And that discovery built Kolmanskop, a German diamond town in the middle of nowhere. Mansions rose out of the desert. There was a hospital, a bowling alley, even an ice factory, all powered by wealth. But by the 1930s, the diamonds were gone, and so were the people. The desert returned, filling the houses grain by grain. Now, dunes spill through doorways, sunlight catches on cracked mirrors, and the ghosts of ambition shimmer beneath the sand. where Kolmanskop was buried by nature. Others, like Craco, were undone by it. 6. Craco, Italy, the hill that fell. In the hills of southern Italy stands Craco, a medieval village with a 1,000-year history. Built on clay and stone, it survived earthquakes, landslides, and centuries of war, but eventually the ground beneath began to give way. In 1963, the first major landslide forced an evacuation, and by the 1980s, Craco was silent. Its stone houses and church towers still cling to the cliffside, watching centuries slip away. It has been used in films like The Passion of the Christ and Quantum of Solace. But for locals, Craco isn't a film set. It's a scar. Sometimes, though, nature doesn't erode slowly. Sometimes it destroys in a single night. Next on the list, we have Dhanushkodi, India, a town swallowed by the sea. On the southern tip of India lies Dhanushkodi, once a bustling port and railway hub. In 1964, a cyclone with winds of over 200 kilometers per hour tore across the coast. The sea swallowed the railway, the station, and every home, and more than 1,800 people lost their lives. The government declared the town unfit for habitation, and it was left to the wind and the waves. Today, tourists wander through the skeletal remains of churches and walls, with only the ocean's rhythm as a soundtrack. Dhanushkodi reminds us that the sea doesn't take revenge, it simply resets the map. And while water destroyed Dhanushkodi, an invisible storm destroyed the next, one born not of weather, but of radiation. 8. Prypiat, Ukraine, the city of silence. Prypiat was once a thriving Soviet city, home to 50,000 residents who worked at the nearby Chernobyl power plant. On April 26, 1986, the reactor exploded, and within 2 days, everyone was gone. The Ferris wheel never turned. Classrooms still hold notebooks and dolls, and playgrounds sit under a canopy of silent trees. Prypiat isn't just a ghost city, it's a monument to human fragility and the illusion of control. But not every ghost city ended in chaos. Some simply drifted into stillness beneath the desert sky. 9th on our list, Al-Madam in the UAE, the buried village. In the heart of the UAE stands Al-Madam, a small village slowly being swallowed by the desert. Built in the 1970s to house Bedouin families adapting to modern life, it was abandoned within just a few decades. The sand reclaimed every room, filling homes up to the ceiling. Whether it was the desert winds, superstition, or government plans, no one truly knows why it was left behind. Today, Al-Madam is a quiet metaphor for the modern world. Progress built too fast and lost even faster. Not long before skyscrapers and oil, people were already building cities that would one day vanish too. On number 10, Serjilla, Syria, the ancient dead city. In northwestern Syria lies Serjilla, one of the ancient dead cities of the Byzantine world. Founded in the 5th century, it thrived on olive oil and trade, and for centuries, its bathhouses and villas echoed with life. But when the trade routes shifted, the people left and time stood still. 1,500 years later, the stone arches and courtyards remain, proof that even empires fade, yet stone remembers. Which brings us to our final city, one that once rivaled Constantinople, and now sits in silence, on the edge of two worlds. 11. Ani, Turkey, the city of 1,001 churches. Once called the city of 1,001 churches, Ani was a medieval capital of wealth and faith. By the 11th century, more than 100,000 people lived within its walls, merchants, monks, artisans, and kings. Then came invasions, then earthquakes, and then silence. Today, Ani lies on the border between Turkey and Armenia. Empty, windswept, and magnificent. A ghost of a civilization that once believed it would last forever. From fake cities to lost capitals, from sand to snow, each of these places tells the same story. Civilizations rise not because they can build, but because they can adapt. Every ruin is a mirror, reflecting our fragility, our ambition, and our place in time. So next time you pass an abandoned building, a forgotten town, or a quiet street, remember, once it was someone's world. And one day, ours might look just the same. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.